The air hangs heavy in the Roman Forum, thick with the scent of ancient stone and ages past. Imagine the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the marble in hues of amber and rose. As twilight deepens, the grand structures of the Forum, once echoing with the might of 1,000 emperors, now stand bathed in the soft glow of dying embers. The Colosseum's weathered arches stretch like phantoms across the fading light, whispering tales of triumphs and tragedies long ended. Aurelian, the emperor, whose name echoes through history as the restorer of Rome's fortunes, sits alone in his palace high above the bustling city. The weight of his empire presses heavily upon him, a burden shared by few, understood by none. For tonight, as the shadows lengthen and the city sleeps, he is wrestling not with earthly foes, but with the whispers of fate itself. They say he turned to the arcane arts, seeking guidance in the murmurings of stars and the secrets held within dreams. Tonight, he seeks answers from the Oracle of Rome, one of many who ply their trade in the eternal city, claiming to speak with spirits and commune with the dead. Their pronouncements, cryptic and often cruel, are sought after by desperate souls, offering glimpses into the tangled threads of destiny. Aurelian is no novice in matters of war and conquest. His legions have swept across the known world, restoring Rome's borders with an iron fist. Yet tonight, strategy and swordplay mean little. He is grappling with questions that challenge the very essence of his being, wrestling with the shadows that lurk in the corners of his mind. As the night deepens, the sounds of the city fade away, leaving him in near silence, broken only by the rustle of his own thoughts. In the flickering lamplight, his face, etched with the hardships of a life lived on the edge of the blade, is a canvas of turmoil. The responsibility of an empire, the weight of a legacy, the agony of choices made and lives touched, all reflected in the depths of his eyes. Was he truly chosen to rule, or was his rise to power a mere twist of fortune? What is his destiny, not just for Rome, but for himself? These are the questions that keep him awake when the world is fast asleep, the ones that haunt his waking hours and invade his dreams. But Aurelian is not the only one consumed by these existential musings. Across the empire, in the heart of the Syrian desert, where the relentless sun beats down on sun-bleached stones, sits Zenobia, queen of Palmyra. Her empire, a jewel amidst the arid sands, shimmers with the promise of riches and rebellion against Rome. Yet tonight, as the moon climbs high in the star-studded sky, she, too, finds herself lost in the labyrinth of her own thoughts. The weight of her crown, the burden of her people's expectations, the spectre of Rome's encroaching power, all press heavily upon her. Like Aurelian, she finds solace in the whispers of the night, turning to astrology and prophecy for guidance. Around her, in her opulent court, the air crackles with anticipation. Courtiers clad in silks and spices, their faces half hidden behind veils, gather close, their hushed voices weaving tales of omens and portents. Tonight, they are gathered not just for the Queen's council, but for a glimpse into the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of the mundane. Amongst them is a hushed figure, veiled and cloaked, their face obscured, their presence enigmatic. The air around them seems to shimmer, as if reality itself is bending to their touch. This is the shadow speaker, a seer of sorts, one who claims to channel the whispers of a forgotten past. Legends say that their knowledge runs deep, their insights profound, their connection to the arcane otherworldly. Now the Queen turns to them, seeking answers to the riddles that plague her, hoping to catch a glimpse of the path her destiny has laid out before her. As the night deepens, so does the sense of foreboding. The Queen's anxieties grow, twisting and turning within her like serpents in a basket. The very foundations of her empire seem to tremble, mirroring the turmoil in her soul. What is her fate, not just as a ruler, but as a conduit between worlds? How can she navigate the treacherous waters of fate and steer her empire clear of the looming storm? In this moment of shared vulnerability, two figures from different corners of the empire find themselves bound together by invisible threads. Aurelian and Zenobia, each grappling with their own internal battles, unaware that their paths are about to converge in ways neither could have imagined. Across the sprawling expanse of the Roman Empire, the fates of two powerful individuals hang in the balance, caught between the cold calculations of ambition and the eerie allure of the unknown. As Aurelian grapples with the implications of the oracle's words, he finds himself drawn to a relic of immense power, the Shadow Stone. Legend says it's an enigmatic artifact, wreathed in mystery and steeped in a history older than Rome itself. The stone, believed to hail from the ancient lands of Babylon, is said to possess a chilling beauty. Its surface, smooth and obsidian-like, reflects and refracts light in a mesmerizing dance, its depths holding secrets that defy mortal comprehension. Those who gaze into its depths are said to be confronted with visions of their deepest desires and darkest fears, their destinies laid bare before their awestruck gaze. With the stone in his possession, Aurelian feels a shift in the balance of power. He believes it will guide him, offering glimpses into the intricate tapestry of fate. But as he delves deeper into its mysteries, he also awakens slumbering forces that threaten to engulf him and the empire he holds so dear. Meanwhile, Zenobia, Queen of Palmyra, receives a visit from an emissary bearing a message from the Roman Emperor Aurelian. The message, an offer of alliance, a proposition that could reshape the very fabric of the empire. Faced with the prospect of joining forces with Rome or standing firm against its encroaching might, Zenobia must choose her response carefully. Every decision carries weight, every word spoken could echo with consequences that reverberate across the sands of time. As the sun rises, casting its golden hues over the horizon, a new day dawns in the sprawling metropolis of Rome. The city wakes, stretching and yawning, readying itself for the ceaseless churn of daily life. Amidst the clamor and chaos, a lone figure emerges, silhouetted against the rising sun. It is Septimius, a young and ambitious officer in Aurelian's elite Praetorian Guard. He is a man of few words, his actions speaking volumes of his unwavering loyalty and steely determination. His face, though young, bears the marks of countless campaigns, his eyes reflecting the harsh realities of the battlefield. He is summoned to the Emperor Aurelian's private chambers, where a hushed conversation takes place behind closed doors. Aurelian, the iron-willed emperor, lays out a plan, a mission of utmost importance that will test Septimius's mettle. The task: retrieve a relic of immense power, the Shadow Stone, from the clutches of Queen Zenobia of Palmyra. To make matters more intricate, the emperor wishes to keep this mission a secret, a hidden operation veiled in secrecy. For Aurelian knows that the journey ahead will be fraught with peril, and the success of this mission could tip the scales of power in his favor. Trusting Septimius implicitly, he equips the young officer with a handful of trusted Praetorian guards, forming a covert team of elite soldiers, each member handpicked for their unwavering loyalty, combat prowess, and most importantly, discretion. Together, they form an unbreakable brotherhood, bound by duty, honor, and the promise of untold consequences should their mission fail. And so, under the cloak of a rising sun, and with whispers of prophecy echoing in their ears, Septimius and his elite guard set out on a perilous journey into the heart of the enigmatic East. Their path, fraught with uncertainty, their objective shrouded in mystery, their steps echoing the tread of destiny. And with that, our journey through the first episode of the Shadow Stone comes to an end. If you found yourself captivated by this tale of emperors, oracles, and the allure of hidden relics, know that your journey is far from over. With each passing day, more episodes unfold, deepening the enigma and amplifying the intrigue. Aurelian and Zenobia's intertwined fates, the whispers of prophecy, the enigmatic Shadow Stone, all beckon for exploration. And with each new dawn, the narrative tapestry grows richer, the plot thickens, and the stakes rise higher. So stay tuned, dear viewers, for as the sun sets on one chapter, it only ushers in the next. The world of the Shadow Stone awaits, brimming with intrigue and ensorcelled by magic. Are you ready to step into its embrace and let fate guide your path? The stage is set, the players poised, All that's left is for you to join the saga. Your presence is the missing note that will harmonize the symphony of this unfolding drama. Rome's fall, a symphony of ashes and whispers in the twilight of empire. The whispers grow louder. They slither through the ruins of the Forum, stirring in the chill wind that carries echoes of forgotten incantations. Each cobblestone beneath our feet is a testament to a secret so profound it reshaped the world in silence. Rome's fall, history tells us, was a symphony of invasions, economic collapse, and moral decay. But beneath that veneer lies the terrifying truth, a broken occult covenant that unleashed chaos from realms unseen. As the West crumbled, the East endured, but not without the stone's shadow tainting its glory. To understand Rome's demise, we must venture beyond the annals of war and economy, into the shadowed realm of the emperor's pacts with powers beyond our understanding. Follow me further into this labyrinth of mystery. Follow me further into this labyrinth of mystery, where emperors' ambitions clashed with cosmic forces, and the price of power was paid in the currency of souls. Aurelian and the origins of dominion. Let's begin with Aurelius, the pragmatic emperor who ruled from 272 to 75 AD. His rise was meteoric, clawing his way up from the rank of soldier to conquer the fragmented empire. But power came at a cost. Rome was besieged, its coffers drained, its people starving. In desperation, Aurelian turned to the occult, seeking dominion over the very life force of the city. Legends speak of a plough unearthed beneath the Palatine Hill, imbued with the essence of Romulus, the city's mythical founder. It was said that with this relic, Romulus could command the earth itself, ensuring bountiful harvests and prosperity. But as Aurelian's grip tightened, so did the bargain's grip on him. The more he used the plough's magic, the more he became like Romulus, ruthless, paranoid, driven by an insatiable hunger for land. He waged war on Germanic tribes, expanding Rome's borders, but at what cost? Whispers persist that with each conquest, the plough demanded tribute, feeding not just on the soil of Rome, but the souls of its people, twisting Aurelian's heart until he too met a violent end, slain by his own grandmother Julia Misa. Constantine's crossroads and the Gallividian Pact. Next, we turn to Constantine, the first Christian emperor, whose reign marked a pivotal shift in the empire's destiny. His vision of the cross at the Milvian Bridge led to the Edict of Milan, ending the persecution of Christians and paving the way for the religion to flourish. But Constantine's inner turmoil was profound. Haunted by nightmares of pagan deities, he sought solace in the occult, negotiating a pact with Gallividian, a lesser deity promising him victory in exchange for recognition. This bargain granted Constantine tactical brilliance on the battlefield, leading him to defeat Maxentus and secure sole control of Rome. But as Christianity spread, so did the Gallividian Pact's influence, corrupting not only the hearts of men, but the very foundations of the empire. Whispers emerged of a hidden cult within the imperial court, whispering invocations to Gallividian before battles, claiming the credit for victories and urging Constantine to embrace the dark arts more fully. After his death in 337, the pact's effects rippled across the empire, some whispering that the entity took the form of his sons, twisting them against one another in a fratricidal struggle for power. The empire fractured as internal strife consumed it, setting the stage for the catastrophic events that would unfold in the coming centuries. Julian's internal conflict and the desert hermit. Now we come to Julian the Apostate, ascending in 361 AD, embodying the empire's desperate grasp at revival. Born in 331 AD to Constantine's bloodline, Julian was orphaned young, his family slaughtered in purges that left him scarred. His brilliant intellect was forever warring with a thirst for pagan revival against the Christian tide. He studied philosophy in Athens, delving into Neoplatonism, but secretly sought the Shadowstone's remnants, believing they held the key to restoring Rome's pagan vigor. His inner conflict was profounder, lover of wisdom, who wielded absolute power, torn between enlightened rule and the occult's seductive call. His tragic fate was foretold in oracles he ignored, death on a Persian spear, his blood-soaking foreign soil, whispering "Thou hast conquered," Galilean in delirium. Julian's reign began with reforms, but mystery enveloped his Persian campaign. In Antioch, he consulted haruspices, diviners of entrails, who warned of dark portents. But Julian, possessing a stone fragment gifted by a desert hermit, performed solitary rituals in temple ruins. The fragment, a shard of obsidian veined with silver, pulsed with residual energy, granting him visions of victory, but demanding blood sacrifices that haunted his conscience. One night in an incense-filled chamber, as thunder rumbled like disapproving gods, Julian invoked the entity, the shard, levitating, shadows coalescing into forms that promised triumph if he rejected Christ utterly. The impression clung the emperor alone, sweat beading on his brow, the air thick with ozone, shadowy tendrils caressing his skin like lovers' fingers, leaving him exhilarated yet emptied, a void that grew with each dawn. The campaign faltered. Omens multiplied, eagles dropping dead from skies, soldiers muttering of curses. At Ctesiphon, Julian's army besieged the city, but a sandstorm blinded them, winds howling with voices that spoke in Latin of betrayal. Julian, gripping the shard, saw illusions of Roman legions turning on him. His conflict peaking was this, the stone's revenge for Constantine's apostasy. He pressed on, but in a skirmish, a spear pierced his side, the wound festering unnaturally, as if poisoned by spectral venom. Dying in his tent, surrounded by philosophers, Julian lamented his failure to revive the old ways. The shard shattering in his hand, fragments scattering like broken promises. The lingering image, the apostate emperor, pale and gasping, philosophers weeping as dust motes danced in lamplight, the air heavy with the scent of myrrh and impending doom, his last gaze fixed on a crucifix he refused to acknowledge. Valentinian III and the sack of Rome with Julian's demise. The Western Empire teetered under Valentinian III, a puppet emperor from 425 AD, his youth overshadowed by regents like his mother, Galla Placidia, whose piety clashed with political ruthlessness. Galla, daughter of Theodosius, harbored secrets from her time as Alaric's captive, rumors of Gothic shamans teaching her occult wards. Her conflict, maternal love versus imperial survival, led to tragic decisions, like executing rivals. Her fate, a secluded death, haunted by visions of Rome's end. Valentinian, weak-willed and lustful, ignored warnings of the stone's curse, focusing on pleasures while Vandals sacked Africa. In 455 AD, as Genseric's fleet approached, Valentinian consulted a seer who spoke of the broken pact, entities demanding repayment in chaos. The sack of Rome left the city in ruins, treasures looted, but the true horror was the occult unleashing plagues following, as if the stone's fragments, scattered by looters, spread malediction. Attila, the Huns' invasion in 452 AD, added layers of mystery. Pope Leo, I met Attila at the Po River, history crediting divine intervention. But whispers suggest Leo carried a stone shard, negotiating not with gold but occult promises. Leo, a theologian with hidden esoteric interests, struggled with faith versus pragmatism, his tragic legacy as a saint marred by secret doubts. Attila withdrew, but died soon after, nosebleeding in his wedding bed, as if cursed. The impression, the two leaders under a tent by the river, Leo's hand extended with the glinting shard, Attila's fierce eyes widening in recognition, thunderheads gathering like witnesses to a forbidden deal, the river's waters turning murky as if stirred by underwater spirits. The final emperors were shadows of glory. Romulus, Augustulus, the boy emperor, deposed in 476 AD, symbolized the end, placed on the throne by his father Orestes, a schemer whose ambition outstripped ability. Romulus' innocence conflicted with the corruption around him, fated to exile in a Campanian villa, living long but forgotten. Odoacer, the barbarian king who deposed him, spared the boy but claimed the regalia. Unaware of the stone's influence in his victory, perhaps a fragment in his possession, granting temporary might but dooming his rule to assassination. The West fell not to swords alone, but to the cumulative weight of the broken pact, entities reveling in the void left by abandoned rituals. In the East, Justinian, the first in 527 AD, sought reconquest, but the secret persisted. His wife, Theodora, a former actress with occult ties from her circus days, influenced him. Her cunning mind, torn between love and power hunger, fated to cancer's agony. The Nika riots in 532 AD saw Constantinople burn, Justinian nearly fleeing. But Theodora's resolve, perhaps stone-augmented, saved him. Reconquests strained the empire, plagues ravaging in 541 AD, as if the entities punished overreach. Procopius, the historian, wrote secret history, hinting at demonic possessions in the court, his loyalty clashing with truth-telling, tragic in his anonymous burial. The mystery deepens with the stone's fate fragments, perhaps fueling the Renaissance, or hidden in Masonic lodges, their power influencing modern shadows. Rome's fall, then, was the terrifying unraveling of an occult thread woven since Romulus' plough, a pact with darkness for dominion, broken by Christian light that cast longer shadows. Emperors like Aurelian and Constantine, their conflicts eternal, paid the price in tragic ends, the empire's sole forfeit. As ruins stand today, feel the chill their secret lives, waiting for those who dare listen. Or does the whisper fade to silence when the dawn breaks, leaving only the cold stones bearing witness to the shadows that danced among them?